Hey everybody, welcome back to another Day Night Show match. It is game 2 between Omee and Anticitizen. In the bottom left, we have the guy who surprisingly did not take the first game. It is none other than Omee, who I looked down and read Anticitizen. Woohoo! Okay, this is Omee was the victor of the first game. The victor of the previous two matches, loser of the first match, it is Anticitizen in the top right. Woo! But yeah, glad to see that we are going off to a smooth start here. This is just prototypical for me, trust me. This is Yeonsu. Everybody knows this map from its awesome choice of grass and frost tile sets. I'd really love it if someone would do this more. Like, we could get another version of this, but maybe like the metal Protoss spaceship against the Terran metal map. That would look really cool. Something like that, man. I mean, justifying it would be all weird, but whatever. Sorry about that. Kind of like choked on my own spit for a second there. It happens. It happens. Anyway, yeah, nothing particularly crazy going on just yet. No, spawning pool coming out here at 12 for Omee. So this is again going for the earlier lings. Anticitizen grabbing his not too long after. I have a feeling, yeah, Anticitizen's going to be a little bit probably more aggressive this game after what happened in the previous one. I mean, I can only bet you, like, anytime in a series that something happens where you get beaten up by something like that, it's just fresh in your mind in the next match, and you're going to make sure that doesn't happen no matter what. Or you go completely crazy and you do, like, even more risky things, like double expanding. Dude. Yeah, like, I know what you mean. Exactly what I'm saying, ZRQ. Like, the Protoss spaceship transitioning to a Zerg world. Or a Zerg spaceship. What would a Zerg... Well, we know what a Zerg spaceship looks like. There's never been a Zerg spaceship map. Think about it. Which I think is fairly understandable, because the entire world would be against you in that situation. But, dude, man, the palette ideas for multiplayer are there. But in any case, it looks like Omee sending out this drone for an expansion. He's got the money for it and everything. Anticitizen sending out his own drone scout. 2 lings moving out. These guys are going to get the scouting job done. Probably going to run across this drone here. Are they just about to miss each other? And they do. Lucky, lucky, lucky. But this... yeah. They saw each other for just a second there. But it wasn't enough. Drone moving out to expand, I think, for Anticitizen. Does get up into the base. Sees 2 lings. And, yeah, isn't going to survive very long, unfortunately, with that pathway right next to the queen. But, I did see the expansion, I think, so you should be okay with that. Anticitizen has decided not to go for an expansion. Okay, and is instead going for a Baneling Nest. So it looks like we're going to see some one-base aggression play from Anticitizen. The roles have reversed. The fast expander is Omee this time. Omee has picked up on what's coming at him. I'm guessing, grabbing a spine crawler up in the main base. I gotta say, this is really nice positioning right here. All the lings have to go around this way. It gives the spine crawler a few extra shots into the lings as they pass, or maybe the ability to take out 1 or 2 banelings before they go too much around. Are we just streaming old games? Ender, they were going to play last weekend, but we couldn't figure out a good time, so I just had them play replays. And I figured, hey, maybe I can cast these during the leak. And I kind of thought of this without talking to Josh about it. Oh, hey, yeah, more spine crawlers. This Zergling does see what's going on up here. But yeah, it's, you know, so I figured, hey, maybe there's a way I can record high-quality VODs and stream at the same time. Turns out there is. With my new CPU, I can totally get away with that. So I am recording with one program and streaming with another. It's totally what's happening right now. Big move out of lings coming up into the base of Omee here. Unfortunately, his defenses are not yet done. Speed is finished for Anticitizen. He takes out the first spine crawler, no problem. He's doing a number to the lings right now. They're actually going to be out of the picture just as the spine crawler finishes, and now the rest of the lings have run up into the main base. Omee's lings are, trying to back up toward the static defenses. They don't have speed, so they're definitely going to get surrounded and easily picked off by these lings from Anticitizen. Oh, okay, unless they engage piecemeal, which is exactly what Omee needs to have happen here. But unfortunately, he does not see the banelings morphing up in the top left. He actually may believe that he's safe right now. That is terrible. This is exactly what Omee doesn't need right now. These banelings are just going to be able to run straight forward. They may only just kill these 2 buildings, but it looks like they're actually going to go around. The queen does see what's happening. He's trying to get the banelings to go off, but it does not. The banelings go off, and the decent chunk of the workers, but ironically enough, only equalizes it. And I have a feeling that thanks to that Spine Crawler, he's not going to take any further damage. Now, this is actually a pretty rough situation. Like, if Omee can continue to stabilize from here, it's still, I mean, it's still tricky, let's be honest here. There's a lot of forces right there. If he can stabilize from here, the fact that he can build drones out of 2 bases rather than 1, you know, second base only having just finished from Anticitizen, you know, that earlier production that he has there may give him the ability to come back. And unfortunately, it looks like, yeah, and he says it looks like Omee just doesn't really have a lot to work with here. More Banelings actually trying to run up into the base. There's actually not very many workers to kill down here, so he's going to end up using them mostly just to take out the Queen. The Queen does fall, and okay. Doesn't want that upgrade to finish. That would be one way Omee could get back into this with a lot of Zerglings. But yeah, there's really enough here to defend. The Spine Crawlers are not in position to actually block the movement of the Lings. Ling's trying to go for the Spine Crawler right there. It's actually, again, this great positioning, totally messing with the Zergling AI right there. And the Zerglings are pretty much wiped out. Another wave is coming up here, but there's a decent amount of static defenses, and Zerglings now present in the base of Omee, and I think he should be able to hold this from here. Yeah, no surprise, Anticitizen is now moving his Lings back. Okay. I gotta say, this is pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, this game is definitely going to stabilize from here. Both players are kind of in a similar situation, except that there's a decent worker lead for Anticitizen. So as this game goes forward, that can expand to a pretty tremendous amount. It seems that Omee back home is actually working to just equalize this. 6 drones just about to pop. That's going to bring things back to about equal. As for the most part, the drone production for Anticitizen has slowed. It hasn't disappeared, but he hasn't gone into it. It looks like he's still just saving up his money for something. What is he doing? Let's see here. 3 more guys in the gas. And okay, there we go, drones. Now, yeah, now it's definitely going to get that nice economy edge for Anticitizen. I was going to say, if he didn't start pumping that up pretty soon, then it would be possible for Omee to catch up in that regard, but it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Yep, ZVZ 101, start building workers in natural at 9:15. That's exactly what we have more or less going on here. Roachworm coming up for Omee, so getting a little bit of a different tech moving forward, knowing that Anticitizen has the Banelings, but Anticitizen himself seems to be going up into something different as well. Just about to have that, he's getting that lair. Wonder if he's going up into mutas from there. I do believe he's pretty fond of that, as I recall. Pretty much what I've noticed is that generally all the Zergs that we have in the show matches, they either go Mutalisks or they go Roach Hydra in pretty much everything. It's kind of interesting the way that works out, unless your callers are talking about Tinker Tonk and he goes Mass Queens and other weird things. Like, you never know what he's going to do. And then occasionally he plays Standard and no one ever sees it coming. It's pretty awesome stuff. Okay. So as I said before, these will be put up as VODs on the Day Night Show Matches YouTube page. That will, of course, they will be higher quality than these, as I am able to record locally at a higher quality because I'm not limited by my bit rate, as I am, unfortunately, with my with my Twitch stream. So, okay, Spire from here. This, unfortunately, may be a little bit of a wonky compositional situation for Omee. If he's going for mostly a ground-based army, as we can see here with the Roaches, this is not going to give him the ability to engage against Anticitizen's Mutalisks directly, but what it may do is it may give him enough damage potential to run over Anticitizen's base. That's kind of the 2 scenarios you have to work with there when you have kind of an air army versus ground army like that, is kind of comes down to how big can the air army get and how big can its damage potential get. Can it get to the point where it can stop the base race from not going in his favor? But it seems for now, the economy difference has just gotten so dramatic, 28 to 41, that I think probably where this is right now, Omee's going to need something pretty drastic in his favor to happen to really come back. Zergling watching for the 3rd base down here. Overlords from Omee positioned to watch for a 3rd base here and here, so he should be able to see this kind of pop up as soon as the creep starts to spread. Very good, very good. I'm just glancing over at the chat right now. Apparently it's 2014 for some people. Nice, nice. Not so much for me yet. I still have another almost 9 hours, actually, before we hit midnight over here. And, okay, Baneling Nest. So yeah, it's definitely investing more into the ground army here. Unfortunately, Omee has not picked up on this on this transition from Anticitizen. 9 Mutalisks are already about to come into play. Now, if we look back home, we can actually see there is a single Spore Crawler in the base of Omee. Now, this is unfortunately not positioned so that I can actually protect these back workers. So a Mutalisk can still do damage here. But, you know, this one's much better, sitting right in the middle of the line. Another one coming up here. So I think Omee has picked up on what's happening. At least, or has picked up on the possibility of it. Usually when someone actually sees Mutalisks coming, they tend to put a lot of Spore Crawlers down in the same general area, not just one. But this will slow things down if Anticitizen tries to go over for any kind of, I'd say, any kind of harassment. But looks like he's just going to build up his count for now, and going to use the Mutalisks to actually clear out any scouting potential here for Omee. Now, this is actually turning out to be really brutal for Omee, as he has not built any extra Overlords to account for the possibility of losing these scouting Overlords, so he's gone down to 76 of 85 supply. And he can't build anything, and it's going to be stuck that way for a while. Now, yeah, as you can see here, Mutalisks confirmed, therefore more Spore Crawlers, a lot of them. This is going to be able to hold the base area, but there's a lot of openings where a lot of damage can still be dealt. Not to mention this spot right here where there's only the one Spore Crawler. He can take out the upgrades, he can go for the army, he can go for pretty much anything else, or he can simply build up his count to where it gets ridiculous. Once it gets high enough, the Spore Crawlers basically don't matter at all, and that'll be lights out for Omee. But in the meantime, looks like he's still just looking around for some Overlords. Still hasn't found these two, which is surprisingly enough actually flanking the Mutas. There you go, there you go. Kaizura, this is kind of gold-silver, is how I would define it. Both of these guys, I believe, are in silver, I want to say. But they would probably be gold according to the old standards of the ladder, not the current one, where, like, you know, half of the entire population is in silver and bronze. But, yeah, that's kind of where I would put them. Yeah. Usually whenever you hear me say silver gold, like the first league is what they're in. The second league is the league that I would probably put them in according to the old standards. So if I say gold masters, then they would probably be masters before, but maybe they don't play enough to actually maintain that rank now, so they are ended up in gold. There you go, there you go. So again, pretty good positioning here. For Queen to do a decent amount of damage, plus a couple Spore Crawlers to flank. Has moved most of the Overlords near the Spore Crawlers. Unfortunately, not all of them. Losing yet another one. And yeah, he sees the Spore Crawlers, doesn't want to deal with that. 3 shots from a Spore Crawler is enough to take out a Mutalisk. So once there's about 3 Spore Crawlers in play, it does not take very long for them to basically get destroyed. So backing off there, just going for the map control is a good move. And it seems that Omee is actually going for Burrows, you know, Tunneling Claws, who wants to go for maybe some surprise attacks with these roaches. Not a bad move. We can actually see that up in Anticitizen's base, there's actually very little detection. There's going to be a single Overseer, which will help out a lot with this, so long as his army's actually in the right place at the right time. But no static defenses, so there is the possibility of getting some damage done with this. Upgrades have finished. There we go. There's the move out. I gotta say, those guys actually move pretty fast underground. I wonder if creep actually affects this. Let's watch. Let's watch and find out. So he's going... Does creep affect underground burrowed movement? I'm not sure if it makes any sense for it to. I definitely actually think it does. Yeah, look at that. They definitely slowed down a bit. But yeah, no Hydras with this army means that... Oh, he's going Infestors. Okay, yeah, he's grabbing the Pathogen Glance. Yeah, okay, that's an idea. You need to get lucky. Unfortunately, walking straight into where the Overlord is, but as you can see, it's going to take a really long time for these Mutalisks to actually really do anything to the Roaches. And, okay, that is a horrible bottleneck right there, but, yeah, Banelings, if there's enough Banelings, they will kill anything on the ground, including all those Roaches. So that really, really hurts Omee, where before he may have had some possibility with that army, with maybe some kind of base race, although I have to imagine with all those Banelings and Zerglings, it would have been pretty tough. There's, now he's got a big disadvantage in both army and drone count. Not only bases as well, his opponent is almost up to 4 bases. He's down on 2. And I think, honestly, this is actually how a lot of the games ended before between Anticitizen and Omee. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Gonna be interesting. Now, pretty much what Omee needs to happen here is he needs Anticitizen to suicide a lot of his units. Either, like, run straight into these infestors and get fungal growth to death. Even then, like, dealing with the ground army is going to be pretty tough. Dealing with the economy is going to be pretty tough, but he needs a miracle here. He needs a couple incredible engagements all in a row. So we have 4 or 5 banelings just rolling across the map. They're going to find this army and do a decent amount of damage, actually. No, okay. Not turning around to deal with any of it. Banelings go off and kill actually about half of the Zerglings. Stuff like that needs to happen more for Omee to get back into this game. It's pretty looking dark right now. It's like more than double his supply. But, okay, couple brood banelings, and boom! Half the banelings die as a result. Again, more of that stuff helps. Loses 1 building and a few lings right there. Okay, yeah. I think at this point, Anticitizen's just waiting to build that incredible advantage. Incredible advantage. It really needs. There's a lot of infestors here. Ooh, man. Yeah, you know, I gotta say, Omee actually could afford to do that right now. I think it's just from a larva standpoint, he isn't there. You can see a lot of energy on the queen on both of these. He's probably just not been keeping up with his injects enough. But, you know, like, getting a macro hatch would not be a bad move in this situation. He does have the ability to do that. It would help out a little bit. But it's tough to criticize that kind of angle on things in this situation with Mutalisks, because taking another base would be so difficult. But, okay. Does have the Overseer. So Baneling, yeah, okay, this Baneling mine attempt is probably not going to work unless the Lings just run really far forward. Tinker Talk? We need to talk later. I know a place where you can probably get an interesting mouse pad. For pretty cheap. Couple attempt at putting out Spore Crawlers at the front is not going to work here. Baneling's running up in the front, killing a giant chunk of Zerglings, not getting too many of the infestors, though. Key Fungals, very, very important against this. Majority of this army is pretty much just mutas now. There's still a few Zerglings left in play. Okay, 1 fungal growth does go down, hits the entirety of the Mutalisk force. A few of them actually able to go there, but unfortunately there was just too much in terms of Zerglings left over. They have killed a vast majority of the infestors, only 2 left. It's not going to be enough, unfortunately. I don't think he can actually use enough fungals at this point to really keep this at bay. So, yep. I think we're approaching the end here for Omee. He's moving the infestors forward, trying to get that fungal off, misses, and unfortunately loses both the infestors. And with that, there's really no way to deal with these Mutalisks. Not to mention his economy has now become so thin that he's actually just about to be completely out of money. So, Omee's running out of cards here. Here comes the attack. He's finally hit the point where it doesn't actually matter if there's Spore Crawlers anymore. He can just shoot them all down. Or he can back off and let the Zerglings kill all of them. There's nothing to deal with the Zerglings. And I think Omee is pretty much done. Just probably coming to terms with this fact right now. He's getting a few roaches out. He's losing... Well, yeah, okay. All the Spore Crawlers are gone. He's about to lose his lair. And, yep, that's the end of that, I'd say. Anytime now. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be talking like that. It's clearly Omee's still hanging on. He's got his fortress up here. No one can intrude upon it. At least for now. There we go. There's the GG. Alright. Big GG? Yeah, GG response. Okay. There we go.